This is
Radio TPi,
the podcasts. Linkin Park's front-of-house sound engineer is known to his family as Ken Van Druten, but to his fellow crew members and fans of the band, he is the one and only Pooch. Total Production met Pooch during Linkin Park's January tour of the UK, and he took us backstage to his dedicated mixing room. In addition to pushing the faders at showtime, this is the place in which he spends most of each working day, mixing Pro Tools recordings of the previous night's gig for fans to download as souvenirs of the shows they attended. Here's Pooch.
So we're selling a blank CDR that has liner notes in it, that has a web link that promises in 5 days if you buy the CDR. And I think we're selling it here. I'm not sure in what we sell it in the UK. I think in Europe we were selling it for like 10 euros. So it's, you know, a relatively low cost merch item. It promises in 10 days that we will deliver the show that they were just at. The thing that we're doing a little bit different from everybody else, a lot of people are releasing, you know, whatever the board mix of the show, or maybe even just a live mix of the show that someone else is doing. A lot of people are doing that and delivering the show that same night or even the next day. What we're doing is multi-tracking the entire show and then spending a bunch of time making it record quality. But what that means for me is that, you know, I spend 8 to 10 hours a day in here mixing on near fields, and then I go out there and do 2 hours of live show. So it's a lot of listening to Linkin Park, and I've been doing it now for about a year. So
Are you doing this for every show?
yes.
Yeah. When the fans buy the blank CDR,
Yep.
they're given a password and a code to go.
Password and code to go to a website, and you know, I think it promises within 10 days, and we try to deliver within 5 to 6. And there's this HD3 rig in here that I mix on with a little control surface, Command 8 control surface, and there's another HD3 rig for the Pro Tools guy, who he kind of does editing while I'm mixing, and so we're kind of doing leapfrogging. So there'll be a show, he gets it first. We do some cleanups of, you know, if there's noise in between song or that kind of stuff. We aren't really doing any sort of Pro Tools magic. The band is really clear about wanting it to be as real as possible and be, you know, a live sounding thing, but have it be record quality live record. These particular fans, Linkin Park fans, are very, very tech savvy, and they're way into, you know, sharing MP3s and, you know.
You complete the mix, it gets edited. Did the band then have to approve it before it goes out?
No. They did the first 3 or 4 weeks that we started doing this.
Well, I guess they realised how much work they were.
Yeah, but we developed a trust, you know, and they trust me to be the guy to make those decisions. But having said that, they do check in every once in a while. I know they download a show here and there and check it out themselves. And also, they are very connected with their fans and have lots of input that their fans give them about, hey, the recording of whatever, you know, we liked this or didn't like this, and I tend to hear that stuff from them. So yeah, it sure does. The reason I went with the DigiDesk was my own familiarity with DigiDesign plugins and third-party plugins, my experience with Pro Tools kind of on the side being a recording engineer. So it was very easy for me to pull all that into Live Soundland, and I'm like, oh, I recognize that plugin, I know what it does, and so that was really the choice for me and the reason. But also the ease of that interface is of course, you know, super neat. You know, it's just DigiLink cables. This gear is the first thing off the truck, even before rigging, and I set this up at 9 in the morning, and I work probably for about 2.5 hours straight, and then I try to go have lunch and take a break.
Pooch also took time out to acknowledge the Adamson Y-axis touring system that he described as his favorite line array.
I really do think that their product is superior. It's my favorite line array for sure, and definitely for this band, it makes a lot of sense. It's very similar to the top line arrays in the world, VDOS, but where it really shines, I think, is coverage-wise. Horizontal coverage all the way across. The beauty of the boxes is that every single one of their boxes that they make, from the biggest box, the Y18, to the smallest Spectrix box, all has the same mid-range device. The integration between walking through zones, walking from the big box into the near fields, and also walking around way up top, walking around, is virtually seamless. And to me, it being the only box that really can do that. Everyone talks about coverage, that's the most important thing. And that to me is, if you can get it to where it sounds the same in every seat, then you're doing great, In fact, I find myself turning them down quite a bit and not using their full potential headroom.
This is
Radio
TPi, the podcast.